Achal, we are live. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sai. So, hello all and welcome to the 22nd episode of Webisodes series. Today we have with us Mr. Farhat Umar, Senior Vice President, Group Head HR, Mankind Pharma Limited. Mr. Umar is a vibrant, performance-driven professional with 30 plus years of rich experience in the pharmaceutical industry, including strategic HR, change management, operational excellence, etc. He has been associated with companies like GSK, Dumex, Johnson & Johnson, Cadila, and now with Mankind Group. We are happy to have him amongst us today, where he's going to talk about the paradigm shift of leadership in knowledge and information age. So without any further delay, let's hear it from the speaker of the day, Mr. Farhat Umar. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Achal, for giving this introduction, and thank you so much for inviting me to have interaction with you, your student. And the topic which already, I'm doing this topic second time actually. First I've done at IIT Kharagpur. So lot of requests, lot of requirement coming from the colleges and the different forum of leadership that we should speak about the present scenario and and how to lead in this kind of crisis or disturbance, you can say. So basically, this thought has come to my mind, and then I have just accumulated all my thought process in the form of some slides, some videos. So my presentation will be based on some slides and some videos, beautiful videos. They are in Hindi and English also. But even everybody can understand, because the most important is non-verbal communication. That if you have a good information in your messages, I think everybody can understand. This is the advantage with the communication. So before going into my presentation, I would like to show you a very important video. Basically, with this video, I would like to have attention from all the students and all the participants who are attending this program. It's a 9 minutes video, but this will provide complete insight and knowledge. You will understand that what kind of leadership is required in knowledge and information age. Let's see this. I think video should work.
We stand at the forefront of one of the most exciting and promising of all of the ages of human history. The globalization of markets, the exploding advances of technology have created an unprecedented opportunity for growth and prosperity for individuals, for families, for organizations, for all society, if we approach them wisely. I frequently ask large audiences, how many agree that the vast majority of the workforce in your organization possess far more talent, capability, creativity, and intelligence than their present jobs require or even allow them to use? The overwhelming majority of people raise their hands, and this is with groups all over the world. About the same percentage acknowledge that they are under immense pressure to produce more for less. I mean, just think about it. On the one hand, people face a new and increasing expectation to produce more for less, yet feel that they are not even allowed to contribute their highest talents and intelligence. This is a staggering and fundamental leadership problem. To understand why, we need to understand the four economic ages of civilization. Imagine for a moment that you step back in time and you are a hunter and gatherer of food. Each day you go out and gather food for your family. That's all you've ever known. Then someone comes along and tries to persuade you to become what he calls a farmer. You see him scratch the earth, throw little seeds into the ground. You see him watering the soil, removing weeds, and you see nothing. But eventually, you see a great harvest. You notice his yield as a farmer is 50 times greater than yours as a hunter and gatherer. What would you do? Little by little, you would go through the intense learning process of becoming a farmer. You would need to learn new skills and use new tools. Ultimately, you would raise your children and grandchildren as farmers. And that's exactly what happened in our early history. In time, we experienced more than a 90% downsizing of hunters and gatherers. Then along comes the industrial age. People build factories and learn how to take raw materials through an assembly line with high levels of efficiency. They had to develop a whole new set of skills. The factory of the industrial age produced 50 times more than the family farm. And over time, over 90% of the farmers were downsized. Now we're moving into the information knowledge worker age. Do you believe that this age will outproduce the industrial age 50 times? I do. We're just barely beginning to see it. It will outproduce it 50 times, not twice, not 3 or 10 times, but 50 or more. You see, the primary drivers of economic prosperity in the industrial age were machines and capital. In other words, things. People were necessary but replaceable. The problem is, although we are living in the knowledge worker age, so many of our modern management practices come from the industrial age. It's reflected in many of our current recruiting, hiring, and firing practices, our performance appraisal systems, our compensation and reward systems, even in the way we communicate with people. Financial accounting, the main information guiding system, comes out of the industrial age and calls people an expense. And things like tools, equipment, computers, assets. Just think about the impact of that psychology on almost everything. With the industrial age approach, people are managed to a job description. They're fit into a slot. In the knowledge worker age, people are led toward their greatest unique contribution. The industrial age manager sees people as employees or subordinates. Motivation is external. Carrot and sticking. You know, if you produce, you get the carrot. If you don't produce, you get the stick. The great jackass theory of human motivation. In the knowledge worker age, people are treated as volunteers, as associates and partners. The industrial age mindset is one of control, controlling people. The knowledge worker mindset is one of release, a form of directed autonomy. Bottom line, we manage things, but things don't have the power to choose. But we lead people who do have the power to choose. Speaking of our day, the late, brilliant management thinker Peter Drucker said prophetically, when the history of our time is written, the most important event those historians will remember is not technology, not the internet, not e-commerce, but the unprecedented change in the human condition. For the first time, substantial and rapidly growing numbers of people have choices. For the first time, people have to manage themselves, and we are totally unprepared for it. Why are we unprepared? Because unleashing the potential of this age will require a fundamental break from the control paradigm. It will require leaders to embrace what I call the whole person paradigm. Human beings are four-dimensional. Our body, our mind, our heart, and our spirit. These four dimensions also represent the four basic needs and motivations of all people. For the body, to live, survival. For the heart, to love, to build strong relationships. For the mind, to learn, the need for growth and development. And for the spirit, to leave a legacy, the need for meaning and contribution, and for integrity. Consciously or subconsciously, people choose how much of themselves that they will give to their work, depending on how they are viewed and treated, and on their opportunities to use all four parts of their nature. The point is, neglect any one of the four parts of human nature, and you essentially turn a person into a thing. And what do you do with a thing? You have to control and manage them in order to motivate them. Again, carrot and stick. You may be able to buy someone's hand or back, but you can never buy someone's heart, mind, and spirit. These are volunteered only. In the final analysis, leadership is not about control. It's about unleashing the whole person toward compelling, inspiring, and worthwhile goals. As a leader, you have a choice. You can choose to perpetuate the practices of the industrial age or to adopt the mindset, skill set, and tool set required to lead successfully in the knowledge worker age.
Okay, so I think we saw the very good presentation by Dr. Stephen Covey. He's basically author of a very, very well-renowned book and training module, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he clearly mentioned that about the knowledge and information age. Actually, in many, many corporates all across the world, although they are living in knowledge age, but I've seen, in my experience, I get a lot of information through media, journals, and I'm reading the other forum also. Many organizations still they are using industrial age policies and in the form of hiring and firing, whatever. So this is a great learning that if you are updating your knowledge and you are studying every day and you are a lifelong student, I think then you can always embrace the change with effective kind of action. So what is more important as a leader that if you are a good coach actually, and you are unleashing the talents and hidden talents of your team members, so this way you can inspire them, you can motivate them. And this is the requirement in knowledge age, which we are going to discuss with you. So I'm going to put one slide to all the participants, what you have to do. Although it's a virtual communication, but still we can do. You can select top 4 characteristics of any leader, what you can think that you can admire in a leader, what 4 characteristics they should have. So these 2 column, you can see that there are many characteristics are mentioned. You can choose 4, and then I will show you the top 4 characteristics of leader which came out through one survey which was done by Jim Coos, actually the author of Leadership Challenges. So you can select 4 what you think that the leader should be, what leader you can admire. If you have noted down, then I will show you the top 4 the characteristic of a leader. Let's see. The first is a leader should be honest, which is very important. Honesty and integrity is a very integral value of a successful leaders, which is a requirement in today's world. The second thing, the leader should be forward-looking. Forward-looking means that he should have ability to align with the organization or the business where he's leading the business as an entrepreneur or as a top leader or running a department. He should have ability to align with the corporate goals and the people also. The third is inspiring. It's a big difference between motivation and inspiration actually. The leaders who are charismatic and they are competent, they have very good knowledge of the present scenario and the future. They can anticipate the future also. So they can inspire others. And the most important thing, the good leaders are very good coach. when your team members and your cross-functional team peers and they get some values, they learn something from you. So this way you can inspire them. This is also the third. And the fourth is competent actually. When you are competent, then it is a great advantage. And how you can be competent? This is something which is a requirement in knowledge age. You have to update your knowledge and your technical, non-technical. That's why you should attend training programs and you should read good books also and of your areas, and you should have a passion to read also. So these are the four important characteristics which came out from the survey, and we will discuss a little bit more about this. Honesty is ethics basically, and the values, this is something which cannot buy from the market. You have to develop and you have to learn this, and this is a very, very integral part of a successful leadership. So that's why leaders should be honest. Forward looking is something the leader should have a complete knowledge of the organization, where he is heading, and what kind of future is required. The leader should have a vision, but it is not that he should create a vision, but he should have ability to unify the vision with the team member and the cross-functional, and as a whole organization should have a unified vision, and the numbers and the vision should be shared. And this is something which is we call forward-looking leadership. The third is you should have a passion. If a leader, they are not passionate, they cannot develop passion in others also. That is something very, very important for leader, that whatever you are doing, I think your passion should intersect your job, it should cross your job, and then you can feel that you are empowered. So the leaders who are empowered, they can inspire others also. The fourth is competent, and this is the agility basically, and you have plenty of time to update yourself because it's a knowledge age, and you have a lot of platform, lot of sources to update your knowledge, and then you will be able to guide, and you can put your experience into action in the form of coaching, mentoring, whatever is there, and you will be able to take a sound decision also, which is very, very important. If the leader is competent, I think most of the time his decisions are correct actually. The fifth characteristic I have added, this credibility is the foundation of leadership. Why I have included credibility is because when you are leading a team, and more number of people are there, many times you will find that your team members are not performing. In a lot of projects, lot of tasks, you will find they're struggling. So when you start helping them and adding some values, I think so this way you can establish your credibility, which is a part of team building. There are three behaviors of team building. The first is openness. You should be very, very open with your team and with yourself. The second is respect. You cannot demand the respect, you have to command the respect. That's why first you have to give respect, then you will get the respect. And third is credibility. So credibility is one of the three behaviors of trust. When you start living with these three behaviors, it will be easy for you to build a team. It will not take much time. And this is a very, very important skill. A leader should form a team, and his action should synergize also when you have a good knowledge that how the people are performing, what are their strengths, and you have good ability to sort your team and yourself, then you can go one level up of team, that is synergy. We'll discuss in our one of slides we can discuss with you. So credibility, which I was talking to you, and you should be trustworthy, and you should have a dynamism also. Dynamism means that you should be very, very proactive, and you have a very good knowledge of anticipation, and then accordingly your action should be aligned to help others. That is a very, very important. Dynamism means that you should be ready to help others, and this will form a trust also, and you should be expert also. Your expertise also matters. That's why you should be competent also. There's a very important question is there all across the world, whether leaders are born or not. But definitely leaders are born. But leadership is a process. You can earn, you can learn, and it is an art and a skill, which is very, very, very important to understand. That's why there are so many programs, many skills available all across the world. And I would like to give the example of Jack Welch, actually, when he joined GE as a CEO. So he first thing he did that he introduced a very robust and important training programs for the employees to take the company from the issues and the challenges, and that was the history actually. So learning is very, very important for the leaders actually. The leaders should learn on a regular basis, and then there are so many tools, so many techniques are available. So it is a problem, after completion of academics. I have seen many leaders are not growing actually. They are not able to achieve the highest level. The reason is that they stop learning, they stop reading also after getting into the job. So here I would request all the students that when you are completing your academics, going into the corporate world, I think every year you should add some values in your profile with respect to technical, non-technical areas. That's why the leaders are made also. Okay, so you have to learn this art and skill also. It is very, very important to tell that leadership is not position, authority, or power. This is another problem with the leadership, and they are achieving and climbing the ladder of success. And sometimes they miss out a very important lesson of leadership, that the leadership main action is to influence others. And because of your behavior, your words, your action, the way you are living, if you are influencing others positively, you are a leader. And in this, nowhere you will find the position, power, authority, and designation or something, which is very, very important to understand. And as a leader also, when you are in position, you are holding some position and managing a team of many people, I think that this is the responsibility of leaders to put this kind of knowledge, and this knowledge should cascade down the line, and all the people should feel that they are the leaders. So leadership is not authority and position. So to understand better this, I would like to show you a 2 minutes video actually, and this is a very old video. You must have seen also this video earlier, also very common video. Actually, I was surprised when I was in US and I was attending one program in Harvard, and in that program, one guy from Harvard was showing this video actually. Then I asked, how did you get this video? Then he told me this story of this video actually, and it was happened almost 25-30 years back in any one of the major cities in India. And in this video is in Hindi actually, and the Times of India reporter was there, but that time we knew he was not having all these gadgets what we have today, mobile, you can record anything. Even that day he was not carrying his camera also, and then he came back to office and he told his senior boss. The same scenario was dramatized and it was recorded in the camera, and it was sent to US to participate a leadership program, and the name was To Lead India. And you will not believe it won the first prize in US. In this video, you can see the same slide what is there. There's position, authority, power is not required actually. And we should not be prejudiced also. You can see one girl is sitting in the auto and she will say, I hate this country. And then anybody can understand this video, although this video is in Hindi.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर आइए सर चल चल
पलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो पलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो I hate this country तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले 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 लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाला करे लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाल करे उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो पकड़ के चलो उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो पकड़ के चलो पलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो पलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले हिंदुस्तान चले चलो
This is a everyday story all across the world. I mean, there are very few people. They always deliver some opportunities. You know, opportunities should be delivered. You can see in this video, the opportunity was clearly there, and only one child, a small child, took the decision and took the action, and he generated a very progressive wave there. And after that, everybody was involved. So this is a great learning actually for us, that how much action we are taking today, every day, 24/7. If you are an observer, I think then somewhere we can lose leadership. That's why the leader should be action oriented, and they should have the power of happiness also. When you are performing your action, I think you should have happiness also on your face, the smile. And that is only possible when you are competent, you are fast forwarding, you are honest, and the most important that you should be a team player. So action is very, very important for leadership. You know, if you are taking action every day, and every day you are encashing, converting weaknesses into opportunities and opportunities into your strength, this is the call, the requirement. So what is leadership actually? Leadership is everyone's business. When you achieve some position or you are running your business, don't think that it is only you can do everything. It's not possible. But definitely as a proactive leader, you have to take action, and then you will find that the people will be working with you. But you don't have to wait that somebody will come and will initiate the action. If you want that, you have to align others. I think you should have a proactive approach to initiate the process, to take action, and this will lead, when everybody is involved, and it will lead to a very good relationship actually. And then you will find that great synergy will be there, and you will find that many development will be there. A lot of learning will be there when you are working as a team and understanding each other and collaborating cross-functionally and in your team. So a lot of development will be there, and leadership will be learned everywhere. Actually, this is called an ongoing process of leadership, and it's a very simple equation to understand. Your actions, your 224 action will definitely generate some kinds of progressive wave in the organization and your team. And then you will find this circle will be there, and your department, your company will grow. It's a very, very important and easy definition of leadership. On the other hand, management is also important actually, to create organization and to put speed in the organization, to control your process format, to bring results in the organization, to bring consistency in the organization, to organize all this thing is possible in management. You have to organize meeting, you have to conduct the meeting, you should have ability to solve the problem. But it is not leadership. I always give example of two leaders actually, L.K. Advani and Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Today, Indian politics, BJP is in the power, but if you go back almost 2 decades back or something, you will find that the BJP was having only two seats in parliaments. And then, although Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a very old member of parliament and all, but he always sitting in the opposition. So L.K. Advani took the process and he started Rath Yatra and all across the India, and he generated a very progressive wave also. Awareness and all this thing, this movement, and finally Janata Party or Bharatiya Janata Party came into the power. But when the question comes for the Prime Ministership, he was not selected. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was selected. So why Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Why not L.K. Advani? That is a big case study. L.K. Advani was a very good manager actually. And management is something that you can have a good technology, good process, good policies. But we need somebody who can influence others, who can create a positive wave influence. And that's why Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the best choice. That's a classic example to differentiate leadership and management actually. And this is a tragedy that L.K. Advani till date could not achieve that position. He was a very good manager, although he was called leader. So now you can understand that the leader should provide a direction, which is very, very important. Even I still remember when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister and Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the opposition leader. And one important message was supposed to be delivered in US or WHO somewhere. Then Indira Gandhi asked Atal Bihari Vajpayee to go there and deliver on behalf of India, our country. So that is called leadership on both. Indira Gandhi was very strong leader, and so leaders know their leaders also. Leaders should work for leaders. Very, very important. And then Atal Bihari Vajpayee went there and he had delivered a fantastic lecture and speech there, and it is still the credible milestone there. So this is very, very important to understand that when you are a leader, I think you should have ability to provide direction. Speed is basically a process of management. So this is also very, very important to understand. Exactly, I was talking to you that leadership is establishing direction and motivating and inspiring, aligning people. These are the things you cannot do through technology or something. You cannot buy anybody's heart and mind, as Dr. Stephen Covey was talking in the initial video also. So leadership is something that you should have ability to align people, and you should start from today itself. And you must be having your personal life, your family, your friends, your relatives, how you are aligning them, how you are maintaining good relationship with them. In your class also, there must be around 40, 50, whatever the students are there, how you are building relationship with everybody and other cross-functional kind of thing. So these are the few simple method to generate leadership from today itself, and you can always discuss about the inspiration, motivation. You should understand what is the difference between motivation and inspiration also. Inspiration is a long-term process. Motivation is something you can get from the reward, or prize, increment, something can motivate you. But inspiration is something that it is a long-term process, and that is the best part of leadership. Here you can see that this is a beautiful picture to depict the leadership. You can find the person who is sitting here is leading, and all the efforts are putting by all the members. And this position of leadership is interchangeable because these people are expert and anybody can come and sit on the front as a leader. And that's why it is very, very important for leaders develop leaders. Okay, and the first line, second line development in the organization is very, very important. When you are going and working in corporate world, I think you should develop yourself, and then you can develop your team also. So this position is also interchangeable, and you can always proceed from there. Leader should be ethical also. It's a conscious voice, and you should have empathy also, and you should be honest when you are talking about that. You should respect others' opinion also. This is also part of ethical. Although when many people will think that respect and ethical are different thing. No, when you are giving respect to others, I think it's a pure ethical characteristics, which is very, very strong. And when you are ready to take the accountability and the responsibility, we saw in that video also the little child immediately took the responsibility, accountability, and took the action, and after that he influenced others also to become part of successful action. So be ethical is very, very important. Now I'm going to talk to you very important subject of today's presentation. I think if you have read this book of 7 habits, then you will understand the emotional bank deposit. Actually, effectiveness is not only the result. We should have a balance also, result and the capabilities. From there the results are coming, which is called balance. P and PC. P is a result and PC is a production capabilities. The same thing is applicable to the emotional bank deposit, and especially this emotional intelligence and resilience in leadership is the talk of the hour because of this COVID. And the leaders who will be successful, they will have the leaders who are having a very strong and bigger emotional bank account. So what is this emotional bank account? Actually, we have been hearing about the saving account, current account. I will give example of saving account. Suppose if my bank account is having 10,000 rupees balance and I withdraw 5,000 rupees, the balance will be 5,000 rupees. But in emotional bank deposit is different actually. Suppose if I have 10,000 deposits in my emotional bank deposit and I withdraw 1,000 rupees, then what would be the balance? The balance will be 0. It is not like a saving account that the balance will be there 5,000 if you withdraw 5,000. But in emotional bank deposit, if you have one withdrawal, actually, it may take out your complete balance 0. And I always give example of many leaders like Suresh Kalmadi, and even I can take the example of Lalu Prasad Yadav. They achieved a very good position in their political life, and they got very good position, authority. And after that, what has happened? A silly mistake of compromising with the integrity, honesty. They lost their position, and their destiny is known to everybody. So this is very, very easy to understand that emotional bank deposit account is different from the. That's why we should be very, very careful. We should understand what is credit, what is withdrawal. Actually, if you have some commitment and promises, you please fulfill it. If you don't fulfill it, it's a withdrawal. So be careful when you are giving commitment or promises to your loved ones, especially. That's why these are the reasons for a broken relationship and all. Okay, when you give some promise and commitment to others, the others will have a lot of expectations from you, and if you don't fulfill, then it is a violation of expectation. This is also withdrawal actually. Okay. And life duplicity, and if the person is living without any character. Life duplicity means I'm goody on your face, and when you are going away and I'm talking something bad about on the back. So this is also a very, very bad habit actually, and it's a withdrawal. If you apologize, it's a deposit basically. Gossiping is absolutely a withdrawal. And I've seen that in corporate, what gossiping is there when the employees are not engaged. They are involved in politics, gossiping. Respect is a deposit. Coordination is a deposit. So this thing is very, very important to understand that when you are working in knowledge age and knowledge information age, I think you should have a bigger and bigger emotional bank accounts. And if you have your emotional bank account is full of credits, I think you will get success and the chances of failure will be very, very less. I'm just talking about the very, very important subject with respect to the proactiveness and the leader who are proactive. So according to Stephen Covey, he said that we have two circles basically. And it is all our time and energy and actions where we are focusing. He said the two circles are there. The one circle is circle of concern and circle of influence. If I am focusing my time and energy and actions in circle of concern, then I will become reactive. If I am focusing, I am spending more time and spending more energy and my actions are there on circle of influence, then I will become proactive. And this is a requirement in today's leadership actually. So to understand better, I think I will tell you the story of three Masons actually. Masons or Mistri or Kadi, whatever you call. So, one second, somebody is calling. In one village, actually, the three Masons were working. So, one little child was going to school and he saw these three people are working. Then he stopped there and he asked one question to one Mason that, what you are doing? So one person said that we don't have time, we are working. Don't you see that we are working? That child was disappointed and he went to school. He came back and his grandmother asked what they are doing. He said he asked the question, but he could not get the reply. He said he told his grandma tomorrow the same, I'll ask the same question to the other person also. The next day morning, he went there and he asked the same question, what you are doing in my village? The second person said, we don't have time, but we are constructing a building. This much I can tell you today. He was happy, but not very much actually. He was not fully satisfied with the answer, and he came and he told his grandmother. And he said that tomorrow I will ask the third person also the same question. Next day, he went to the third person, Mason, and he asked the same question. The third person said, my little child, to give you this answer of your question, I need 2 minutes. Do you have 2 minutes? The little child said, no, I have plenty of time. Actually, my grandma is after me. What you are doing in my village, actually? He said, my dear child, we are constructing a temple. And because in your village is no temple, and you have to cross this river to go there to next village to offer prayer. So what happened in rainy season? This river become turbulent and overflow and flood is there, so you cannot cross the river, so you cannot offer prayer. So now you will have temple in your village, and whether this river is flooded or overflooded or turbulent, you can always have place for prayer. And he started jumping and he didn't go to school that day and he went back and he told to his grandma. So this is very important story to understand that three people are doing the same work, but their response is different. That exactly happened in the leadership also, that if you don't have passion, you cannot influence others also. So that's why it is very, very important to have a bigger circle of influence if you want to develop good leadership in knowledge and information. And you should have a very good emotional bank deposit, and you should have a positive energy. Then your circle of influence will be more. So when you are committing something, you are leading some department, I think it's better to be connected with all the employees. And I will tell you one more important case study after showing this small video clip of very famous Hindi movie Munna Bhai.
ये बहुत गलत है सुमन जी, आपने मुझे प्रॉमिस किया था।
She's scared, मुन्ना। वो तुमसे मिलना चाहती है, पर तुम जानती हो कि डॉक्टर अस्थाना तुमसे कितना नाराज है।
क्या दुखी आत्मा है साला, एक नंबर का रोतलू है।
गले लगा है।
You can see this it's a Hindi movie, but the message is huge actually. And I still remember in one department, one senior leader was managing a team of around 1,000 people in his department, and he was having a problem of high attrition. The people were leaving in his department, and it is a very, very critical department for the organization, and it was a tough call for the HR to bring talent, that kind of talent which is required for the department. It's a challenge for us, for me also. Then suddenly I saw this movie and I could recollect something related with the circle of influence, that how this problem can be arrested. And then I told that as a department senior leader that they should start having lunch. Every day he should select 10 new people, new team members, and he should start taking lunch with them. And he did the same thing, and after that he was 100% connected with the team, and his attrition was totally controlled. And we started retaining good talents in that department. So in knowledge age, actually, you cannot control anybody, which we saw in the first video also. This is the big difference between industrial age and knowledge age, that you have to create, you have to inspire them, you have to unleash their talents, and that's why you have to become a coach also, you have to become mentor also. And this way you can unleash the talents of the people and you can retain, because losing talents in the organization is a great concern. It's a big loss. Not only that, it is a burden as a hiring cost, but it is a burden to bring more talents actually. So I think this is the biggest advantage the leadership have, that they have to retain, they have to be connected, and that's why they should be very, very proactive in their approach also. So I'm going to show you one very important study which was done in Harvard at the time of recession, when the whole world was having a recession, and they have found almost 150 companies all across the world, including India also. The 35 companies from India, they were performing in that recession of 2008. And when they met these Harvard people, all the CEOs of these different companies, they were performing in recession. They have found a different leadership style which was not present in any textbook actually. When you are the student of management, you are reading, or you must be studying the management skills, the planning, controlling, decision making, delegating, and all these things, inquiry, and all these things. But this leadership style which was present in all successful organizations, they were doing very well in tough time. Even this COVID also, nowadays also, in this there are more than 100 companies, they are performing well, including all the sectors. Even many sectors all the sectors are affected. But in all the sectors also, there are companies, they are performing very well, including mankind also. So what kind of leadership is there and what is the learning? I will just go through I will not spend more time, just I will show you. This is the thing which you can see. The pie chart, you can see the 23% the leadership style was the collaborator, and then 17% were pilot, harmonizer, energizer, composer, forecaster. So these are the new things actually which came out from the survey, and then you will find the old textbook that leader should be visionary, leader should be decision maker, leader should have a kind of thing. But this survey will show that how you can create a culture, and then you can lead a very good performance. So leadership is a responsible area in any organization to create culture. And if you are able to create a culture which which is matching with the present situation as we are facing COVID. If you are a leader, you have to create your policies, your structure, your technology, your digitization, everything should be as per the requirement. Then you will create a new culture, as we are having a new culture nowadays, because different situation, the huge disruption, crisis. So when you are able to create a culture, then automatically you will get the performance. Sorry. So we'll see this the different the collaborators. They have found that they were empathetic. Lot of actions were involved in the empathy. They were good in team building, talent spotting. In the talent pool and all was there in the organization. And coaching is very, very important to unleash the talent of in the organization to retain people. So these four things were known which came out in the survey in the form of collaborators, which is also a new thing in the leadership style. We know about the pilot who guides and direct course of action, but what are the other characteristics which came out in this survey? The leader should be strategic. Of course, it's a very common function of senior leader. They should be visionary. Earlier, it was a visionary was a main subject title for the organization. Now it is coming under the pilot. You can see there's a big change in this world visionary now. You know, there's a complexity is there now in COVID. The things are very, very complex actually. Initial lockdown, we had a lot of problems. We cannot travel. Interstate movement was totally banned. Curfew was there. Now it is a bit relaxed now. But to operate in that kind of complex situation, working from over the new culture for the employee, a lot of employees are not aware about that technology. Immediately, we have to do a lot of skilling, reskilling, and updating our technology in advance. Technology bringing in the system with respect to our payroll and attendance and all everything, transportation, maintaining social distancing to avoid shutdown when any case is reporting, a lot of zoning, a lot of task force we have created, antivirus task force, a lot of decisions, a lot of actions. So as a leader, you will have a complex kind of thing, and you should have ability to manage this complexity. So this is a part of pilot also. If you see that it's a very, very responsible kind of thing, you know, the 0.001% error also can lead a lot of loss, you know. Leaders should be harmonizer actually. They should know the quality, they should be quality driven. That's why leaders should be competent. And they should know the execute also. Nowadays in Corona, execution is very, very important. We cannot have a long-term kind of thing. This is the present scenario and we have to execute our action. So that's why all the team members, all the cross-functional, when you have a bigger team and you have to influence them, you have to bring them. So then execution is very, very important. And at the same time, you have to create a very positive environment also. Harmonizer mainly, generally, you must have seen the music director, the one person is managing the complete team of musicians. So that kind of role is required actually, okay. And then you can inspire the loyalty also. This is very, very important for organizer. Provider, the leader, they have found that many leaders were working like a provider, and that's why that is a provider generally in our personal life. Father is a provider basically. So the more action outside and inside is important as a provider, and you should be very, very confident also, because as a father you are running your family, and then when you are confident, you can inspire, you can motivate your team member also. Same thing is applicable in the organization also. And then you should be loyal also as provider and farmer, and you can provide direction, and you can drive them also. This is the main role of a provider. But this is the present scenario in knowledge. The leader has to work like a provider also, and then you have to put a lot of energy in the team. And this charismatic is one word in older time in industrial age, the leader should be charismatic like Gandhi and Churchill and all these things. But now charismatic is a small portion of one bigger characteristics of leadership. That is, the leader should be energizer. He should be inspiring. He should connect emotionally. This is the requirement. Resilience is a part of this COVID leadership. If leadership resilient also. Then leader should be composer also, and he should be independent also, because in complex situation, sometimes you have to take decision also, but you have to be very, very creative also, and you should be problem solving also. Okay, so, and see, the visionary thing is converted to forecaster, and that's why the forecaster can create a learning environment, and they should be deeply knowledgeable also. They should have visionary also. They should be very, very good in decision making also, because in complex situation you will not have much time also to solve the problem. Then you should be producer also. They have found some leaders in some organization, they were working like producer, task oriented, result oriented. Linear thinking is very, very important in today's world. You cannot have a very, very complex structure in the organization and solution. So these are the things which are very, very important to tell you. Okay, Achal, this was my presentation, and we can have a question and answer session, whatever you feel.
Sure, sir. If anybody has any question, they can raise their hands and then ask it. Meanwhile, sir, I had one question. So, like, ideally, we are always told that you should make mistakes and learn from them. But whenever we join a company, the employees are expected not to make a mistake. So how do leaders actually cope up with this? So, like, do they also make mistakes and learn from them, or the organization expects leaders not to make a mistake?
No, when you are going to take action, I think this is Achal, you are asking this question?
Yes, sir.
Achal. So when you have more actions, actually, you will have more errors and more mistakes also. So if you are working in a good organization, and the organization will have a complete process of induction on the job, off the job, and HR induction is there. And generally, good organization, their position, job position is very, very specific, and we select the right person for the right job, actually. So, and when the person is new and joining any organization, he will go under the training or probation kind of thing. Will have not have a complete task to do, which may affect the organization. So it's a process of, basically, I would say it's an induction process of any organization where a new person is coming. And mistakes are there. When you will not take any action, no mistakes will be there. So when you are taking action, mistakes and error will be there, and I think the leader should accept also, and leader also can make a lot of errors. So, but when the errors are related with the integrity and values, I think then it is a serious issue. Otherwise, functionally, errors are manageable actually. But this kind of values where integrity, honesty, I think no organization will tolerate.
Right. Thank you, sir. Sir, Naveen has a question. Naveen, you may go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Achal. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello, sir. So my question is related to the very first part of the presentation that you shared, which was about industry age versus knowledge worker age. So, and as you have mentioned that for a person, like for the students, if they really want to be a good leader, one of the important characteristics is to be competent. But sir, what happens in, like, when you work and when you work in a particular domain, what happens to a staff or a, like engineer level person? It is very difficult for him to shift from one domain to other domain. And as you have said, if you really want to be a good leader, you have to, if not the best, you have to have the experience of each and every domain. So whenever, if you try to shift from one domain to other just on the basis of interest you have or some trainings you have, you will not be preferred, and always that person will be preferred who has experience in it. So on an industrial level, how can a person be leader, and how can a person, be able to learn everything if he is not able to get the opportunity?
No, in knowledge age, Naveen, these opportunities are all across. That's why it is called knowledge age. Okay, even you will not believe. I will give example of SAP. SAP is when it was introduced, it was a technology, but now it is outdated. Now many organizations going for further advancement in the form as for HANA. Same everywhere in technology, also automation, also a lot of new things are there, and that's why the business is going all across the world. Even I will give example that if you buy one machine from Germany or any in Italy, in pharma, a lot of machines automation we buy from these countries. But this the latest we buy latest automation, but still a lot of support is required. That's why we have some kind of a visit from that same company engineers when they are coming. Then our team is also engineers also involved, and they are learning very fast and understanding the new technology. A lot of training programs are happening all across technically and non-technical kind of thing, which is a present scenario. A lot of MDP leadership program, webinars, seminars are all going all across. It is an individual ability to imbibe, to learn something in this knowledge age. And as for the knowledge about others department, because good organization, they have a cross-functional training program also. So and especially I will give example when the new person is joining any organization, we have HR induction also, and all the HODs of different department, they come and they tell about their department, the function, the roles and responsibility, challenges, and how the cross-functional work is happening in the organization. So I think a lot of opportunities are there in many good organizations. They have a internal job posting also, job rotation is also there. As I am the live examples. Most of the time I spend in sales and marketing, but I moved to HR also because I worked in good organization. So you will get opportunity to learn some other subject also, and that's why it is knowledge age, and that is the ability, that is the quality is required in today's leaders.
Thank you, sir.
So Siddharth, you can go ahead with your question.
Actually, am I audible?
Yes, Siddharth, yes.
Good evening, sir. So first of all, thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
So my question is, like you mentioned that leadership is about forward-looking, honesty, and taking responsibility. But
Sorry, I couldn't listen. You speak louder, please.
So you mentioned that leadership is about forward-looking, honesty, and taking responsibility.
Yes.
But there are several times in the corporate world when investors or other powerful stakeholders ask you to follow the strategies which you might not agree with or support. So what do you think how one should handle such scenarios? Is taking a strong stand and saying no in such circumstances? And what about the consequences that might follow later on?
It happens actually. That's why it is called leadership. One thing, I'm sorry, Siddharth, your name is Siddharth, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Siddharth, this is the challenge all across every time in all the leadership position. It is not that sometimes or a lot of challenges will be there, okay, and life is not easy actually. It is there in all across function, all across the company. A lot of challenges will be there when you are taking decision, and we are as mentioned that the fast forward or the 4 characteristics of honesty and all these things. But these are the inbuilt character, and you have to have these characteristics as a leader to go long way. And that is the ability that I was talking to you about, that the latest trend is the pilot, composer, producer. So as a pilot, you will have a complex structure, like you said, the situation. But if you are a good leader, you will come out. You will have always some solution. And most important is the communication skill, how you are communicating with others. You know, there are 3 types of communication which reflects the behavior of leaders also. The first is the aggressive behavior or aggressive communication. The second is submissive kind of thing. Sometimes people ignore, they accept, and they compromise with characteristics, the values and integrity, whatever we say. The most effective communication, the behavior is assertive. That is a quality of a leader, and which is a requirement for leader. That you should be assertive. You should have a concern for yourself. You should have a concern for the organization, and you should have a concern for the the leaders or the owner, the entrepreneur, whatever you can say. So when you are having concern for everybody, then you will get a win-win-win situation that is called third alternative. To achieve third alternative, I think we should have abundance mentality also. That's why leaders should be competent. This is a requirement that knowledgeable leaders, they have solutions. You have a mentality that you will have a lot of solutions because you are well educated, you are aligned with the change and all this. Then you have a good team of people who can guide you, who can give suggestion also. So this is the beauty of leadership.
Thank you, sir.
You should have, you should have always this third alternative that is called win-win agreement.
Sure, thank you, sir.
Sir, Apurv has a question. Apurv, you can go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Achal. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So my question is related to the aspect of trust. So what I feel is that trust is also reciprocative in nature, just like respect. A leader, a good leader, what I feel is should have that kind of. Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So what I think a good leader should have should understand the boundary where the trust does not moves into a poking kind of nature. For example, when we are working in a team, the if a leader has trust, so the leader would trust the team members that they are doing the work as per how it should be done. But sometimes the overlooking of the work is necessary to point to understand the or give in between solutions in that kind of management. So my question is how to identify those boundaries such that this kind of trust does not becomes an issue. For example, an employee should not think that if a leader is overlooking my work, then he might be having trust issues, or he is not trusting my work completely.
Actually, what you are telling is correct also. Now in knowledge age, I think this kind of control is not required actually. And if you have this kind of over supervision or under supervision, it's a failure of leadership. That's why the empowerment is very, very important, and the clear job description in the form of contribution now, it is more important when a team member is aware about the contribution, what kind of contribution he can do to the organization, which can be discussed during meeting in the form of dashboard or MIS, whatever. So if you have a good communication, MIS is there, I think this kind of will not be there. And it's a professional approach also to trust each other. And trust is the behavior of team only, team building only. It is not related with a function or something to control anybody. Respect is something that it's a part of trust, and trust is a behavior of team building. So I think the trust should be there, but overlooking or something is a managerial issue, supervisory skills and all. Apurva, okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else has any questions? Okay, Anshul has a question, sir. Anshul, you may go ahead with your question.
Hello, sir. So, I had a very generic question. Like, it may have been asked a couple of times to you. How a manager is different from a leader. There are some qualities which are specifically for a manager, and so there are some qualities which are specifically for a leader to be present. And also, one more thing, that can a manager become a leader at some point in time, or it is a transition period, like a journey goes from a manager to a leader. And I also want to know, like, how much an experience is important for being a leader, like how young leaders are different from the experienced leader. So these are a few very general questions, if you can answer.
Actually, nowadays it is more technology or knowledge is important. Experience is important, but in this generation, X, Y, and all, the leaders are more competent. They have better knowledge with respect to technology and digitalization, whatever is there. And the difference between manager and leaders, I think leaders cannot work without management skill also. I tell you, leaders should have a good ability also to manage the things also. But managers sometimes I've seen they are good in managing the process, format, reporting, controlling, administration, and everything. But if the manager is not able to motivate, to inspire others, so they are not able to provide any direction, and especially when you are leading a team of people, I think they are always concerned about their career, as everybody is concerned about career and growth. So that is why the leadership is required. How you can fight with the senior management for your people to have a good, robust performance management system, good tools with respect to their promotions, career growth, and all. So when you have a good process and system in the organization, at the same time, if these process and systems are implemented and executed, that is called leadership. I've seen many good organizations, they have good process and system, but they are not executed properly because of the failure of leadership. I've seen many people are working good as a manager, but when the question comes for the direction, they can provide speed also. They can have a good control on reporting system and MIS and everything. But to align people, to make them work as a unit is a leadership call, actually. It's a leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Vaibhav has a question. Vaibhav, you may go ahead with your question.
Thanks, Achal. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Vaibhav.
So, my question is like, when you are a mid-level employee in an organization and you know that there is some kind of change that is required in the leadership, where other activities like psychophancy, politics, or other non-productive activities are in play actually. So how to put it gently in front of the leadership? Because many a times we see that in such scenarios, make your work speak for yourself. This might not always work and might not be always successful in such organization where the actual recognition of your work is not acknowledged.
Yeah, it is there, Vaibhav. It is there, but I think nowadays it's a bit tough for this kind of politics and this kind of biased approach. You can say it's not possible because many good organizations, they have a very robust appraisal system and all. The goal setting format there, your total assignment for the year task is already KPI, KRA is already established, and we have good tools also to monitor the performance. And I think it was common in industrial age kind of thing where the supervisors supervision was more of a control kind of behavior was there. But now it is the things are changed actually. Even this COVID period also, you can easily identify the leaders and the laggards also. This is one thing which is good thing happen in this disruption, that although people are working from home, but you can easily understand that what they are producing actually. So this problem is there, Apur, but now things are changing, and that's why I always suggest that we should go to the good organization when you are going to join. It's a very tough decision, very important decision also. So good organization, they have a very clear and robust appraisal system, and which includes all the benefits, compensation and promotion and everything there in the system. So this problem will be reduced now in knowledge age, but it is there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, can we take a couple of more questions?
You can take. I have another 5 minutes, no problem.
Sure. Akash, you can go ahead with your question.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as per the contingency theory of leadership, the leaders are either task-oriented or relationship-oriented. While the task-oriented leaders assign tasks, set deadlines, and follow the structural process, while the relationship-oriented leaders focus more on people and are comparatively more considerate. So, as an entry-level professional, which kind of leaders should we look up to for a successful career? That's what I wanted to ask, sir.
Actually, you are talking about the grid of leadership grid 9199, 5155 and all. Task oriented and people oriented basically. That's what exactly I was talking to you, because in resilient leadership is something that you should have very clarity in the team, what basically you are looking out and what for we are actually. This is very, very important. And good leaders are working on 4 dimensions, which was there in the first video: heart to love, mind to learn, body to live, and spirit to leave the legacy. These are the 4 important dimensions also, and these are the 4 important intelligence also. These are the needs of the leadership actually. A good leader, if they are giving attention to these 4 important compartments or dimensions or needs or intelligence, whatever I discussed with you, I think they will have more balanced kind of leadership, task orientation as well as the people orientation. You cannot have only task oriented. That was possible only in industrial age. But in knowledge age, I think we should have a carrot and sticks kind of thing. When you are competent, you are knowledgeable, I think you will be able to take very good decision also, which is required. At the same time, when you are a leader, you can inspire others also, motivate others. So this way you can have a balance. That's why knowledge is very, very important, and you should be fast forwarding also. You should be you should align them others also with your positive direction.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have one last question from Ruchi. Ruchi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Achal. So I have a question related to current COVID scenario. So the coronavirus pandemic has forced consumers to adopt new habits, reevaluate priorities, and shift consumptions. And business pivoted to meet these immediate demands. So is it something that we can sustain, or will it fade away once the pandemic get clears?
It's a call. It's still the corporate world is debating. Actually, we are also having a new kind of anticipation, but it will take long time. Actually, it is not going to resolve early. I'm telling you. But post-COVID will be there, and because there are so many unknown viruses also, we don't know actually. So this world is having a lot of disruption now. Okay, but it is very difficult to predict. But one good thing has happened, that people have learned something. We were not prepared for this. Now the people will be prepared, and we will have one more structure also in this to meet the challenges. And very few organizations, I would say 20-30% of organization, they could do something in this disruption. Other failed actually, and that's why the impact is very huge. So I think it will be optional. The company will have more options also. Now we'll have a structure and everything. As now many colleges this year they are going online. So this option always will be there, and the people will be prepared. But this area, this disruption will be over. It's a world and it's a nature cycle. This cycle is there, and it is happened every once in a century. I think it has happened once in 100 years, and we will come out. The whole world is facing this problem, but other countries, they face on a very normal routine. Like Japan is one country is facing this kind of challenges, not by this kind of, but calamities are there, earthquakes are there, tsunamis and all. And Germany also, they face a lot of wars, world wars and all. They came out and they are living with these challenges. So whole world will learn also, and this problem will be over, but it will take some time because the clarity is not there. It's still a lot of complex situation is coming every day. We are not knowing, but the people who are working for the solution, inventing vaccines also, they are facing a lot of challenges. A lot of the mutation is happening in the virus also. Virus is also changing their virulency. That is something, but it will take some time, of course. But one good thing happened: the corporate the leaders will be there now. Only leaders will be surviving. One thing this is very, very dead sure.
Okay, sir. So we'll wrap up the session here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out this time for this session. It was really insightful, and I'm sure everybody has some key takeaways from the slides and the videos. We very much look forward to engage with mankind for a longer term. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.